Hello there, I'm Ep3o and I play Stellaris in absurd ways, as well as currently punishing myself by trying to get every achievement in Stellaris. Today I'm collaborating with Paradox Interactive to show you the top 10 things not to do in Stellaris. This is perfect for newer players to get to grips with the game, while more experienced players can feel nostalgic at all the silly things we used to do when we first played the game. Firstly, don't declare war on fallen empires. Although they're called fallen, they are still incredibly powerful, so don't annoy them. And in particular, don't declare wars on them. They're usually idle until later in the game. Just don't colonize any glowing worlds you see, and don't go near the xenophobic ones. Secondly, don't ignore your notification bar. This is here to help guide you on what you need to do next, or any urgent things that need addressing. And for more experienced players who know what they're doing, you can mute the notifications you're sick of seeing by clicking Shift right click. Thirdly, don't forget that jobs need pops to work them. It can be detrimental to your economy to build 20 jobs on a planet that only has 2 population, as districts and buildings have upkeep, so expand your planets while the population is growing. This mistake can get even worse if you start upgrading every building that you can. I know the yellow arrow is shiny and you want to click it, but really, think if the planet needs the upgrade. Upgrades mainly use strategic resources, so make sure you have enough to upkeep that upgrade. And if it's a specialized world, then you should try and focus the building upgrade that relates to that. Speaking of specialization, don't ignore planet designations. These can give the planet powerful bonuses, taking the planet to a whole new level. For example, the generator world increases generator district build speed and gives technicians 25% more output. This gets even better with the forge world designation. This designation pushes all industrial district jobs into alloy production, rather than being split with consumer goods. It also reduces upkeep by 20% rather than the 10% like the industrial world. This also works with consumer goods in the factory world. So definitely try and create specific alloy and consumer good worlds for that sweet efficiency. And finally, for your planets, do not let the planet just assign the jobs randomly. The default job picking can be questionable at best. Either use automation if you're not confident, or just make sure your population are working useful jobs. For example, work resource producing jobs over clerks or colonists if your amenities and stability are fine. If you're looking for more in-depth tutorials on how to manage your planets, you can check out these videos on the Stellaris channel that I've made previously. If you're looking to fight those filthy Xeno scum, make sure you don't go massively over your Naval and Starbase capacity. If you happen to be fractionally over your maximum, don't worry too much. But as you go more and more above the capacity, the negatives get even worse. So if you're wondering why your economy collapsed after building 100 battleships, this could be why. Now, call me crazy, but I think you shouldn't be afraid to turn down or fiddle with the game's settings for your own enjoyment. Stellaris is not at its core a competitive game, so no one will mind if you play on easier difficulties. Just have fun with it and see how you enjoy the game. My personal favourite settings are slightly speeding up the game. To do this, I play on a small galaxy, max AIs, and 0.5 tech and tradition costs. I make the mid-game at 2250 and late game at 2300. Then tune down the settings such as habitable worlds, free FTL, hyperlane density, gateways, and wormholes to 0.75 times. I also enjoy playing on Grand Admiral with mid-game scaling so the AIs can keep up, but you don't get completely overwhelmed if you get an unlucky start. You can adjust this to your preference, however, but mid-game scaling is very nice. I also increase population growth by turning up logistical growth to 1.6 and growth scaling down to 0.15. This is for a quicker game that you can probably defeat the crisis within 4 to 8 hours, depending on PC speed, how much you pause, and how fast you play your games. You can, however, go the complete other way if you wanted a slower, more drawn out game. I would max out the AIs and the size of galaxy, increase tech and tradition costs as much as you want. 2 times is probably sensible, but if you want to go higher, I'm not going to stop you. I prefer keeping hyperlane density on the other settings very similar, otherwise the galaxy can get very messy and laggy. You can then turn up your late game and mid game years and bam, you have a longer game that will keep you entertained for hours. We've all been here, just don't randomly click event outcomes. Too often have I and many other players clicked on an outcome only to realise I just vassalized myself, or joined a federation I was preparing to fight and I don't get on with any of the members. Pause the game if you need to. Read the outcomes, and breathe. There's no rush. One of the most important tips I think you can implement when playing this complex but beautiful game is to not be hard on yourself if you lose. Stellaris is a game where losses can tell its own story, and sometimes they can just happen randomly, through no fault of your own. You can also take what you've learned from that loss and get straight into another game where a brand new story can unfold. Some of my favourite playthroughs and videos that I've made have been when I've so-called lost. And finally, don't forget to subscribe.